There's a conversation happening in gaming right now that a lot of people feel, but very few actually say out loud, and it was summed up perfectly by a recent statement from the former CEO of Tripwire Interactive. He said there is an underrepresented majority of gamers who want entertainment without agendas. That sentence alone carries a lot of weight because it challenges the idea that the loudest voices online represent most players. It challenges the assumption that controversy equals consensus, and it reminds us that gaming, at its core, was never meant to be a battleground for real world arguments, but a place of escape, creativity, and pure enjoyment. For most of gaming history, players turned to games to get away from stress, from politics, from social conflicts, and from the endless noise of everyday life. You didn't pick up a controller to be told what to think. You picked it up to explore a fantasy world, test your skills, immerse yourself in a story, or just unwind after a long day. Games were a refuge. They were where imagination ruled and reality took a back seat. That wasn't accidental. That was the foundation that made gaming grow from a niche hobby into one of the largest entertainment industries in the world. But somewhere along the way, that philosophy started to shift. More and more players began to feel that entertainment was no longer just about entertainment. It became about messaging, about positioning, about aligning with certain viewpoints. And while stories have always had themes and art has always reflected the world in some way, there is a massive difference between a story that naturally explores ideas and one that feels like it is designed to instruct or correct the audience. When a game stops feeling like a world and starts feeling like a lecture, immersion dies. The experience changes, the magic fades. That's what makes the phrase underrepresented majority so powerful, because most gamers are not online arguing every day. They're not writing think pieces, they're not pushing hashtags, they're playing games or quietly choosing not to. They vote with their wallets, not their keyboards. And when something doesn't appeal to them, they don't make a scene, they just move on. That silence is often mistaken for agreement when in reality it's disengagement. The majority of players want fun first. They want gameplay that feels satisfying. They want worlds that feel alive. They want characters that feel real within their universe. They want stories that unfold naturally and let them draw their own conclusions. They don't want to feel like the game is trying to guide their beliefs. They want to feel like the game respects their intelligence and their ability to interpret what they experience. That desire isn't extreme, it isn't radical, it's normal. It's how entertainment has always worked when it's at its best. And this doesn't mean players are against diversity or deeper storytelling or meaningful themes. Some of the most beloved games of all time deal with heavy topics: loss, identity war, morality, sacrifice, hope. The difference is how these themes are delivered. When a theme is woven into the storyline and the world organically, it enhances the experience. When it feels forced or prioritized over immersion, it breaks the experience. Players can feel that instantly. It's not subtle. It's like hearing a wrong note in a song. You might not be able to explain it right away, but you know something is off. What the ex Tripwire CEO highlighted is that the industry often listens to noise than to numbers. A small group can dominate the conversation, while a much larger group quietly disengages. That creates a false picture of what the audience actually wants. And when studios build games based on that distorted image, they're often shocked when sales don't match expectations. They wonder why enthusiasm isn't there. They blame marketing. They blame gamers. But rarely do they ask whether they lost sight of the simple reason people play games in the first place. The underrepresented majority isn't asking for the removal of creativity or expression. They're asking for balance. They're asking for stories that invite, not instruct, worlds that immerse, not remind, experiences that entertain first and let meaning grow naturally from that entertainment. Because when a game is truly immersive, players become emotionally invested. They care about what happens. They think about it long after they turn the console off. That's how real impact is made, not through force, but through engagement. Look at the games that stand the test of time. They're not remembered because they told players what to think. They're remembered because they made players feel something: awe, fear, joy, curiosity, triumph, loss. Those emotions come from being fully absorbed in the experience, not from being pulled out of it by obvious messaging. The greatest games respect the player enough to let them interpret the journey for themselves. And that's why this conversation matters, because gaming is at a crossroads. It can continue down a path where entertainment becomes secondary to messaging, or I can remember that entertainment itself is the gateway to everything else. When people are having fun, they're open. When they're immersed, they're receptive. When they're enjoying themselves, they're engaged. That's when stories truly resonate. The underrepresented majority doesn't want controversy. They don't want culture wars. They don't want to be part of an ideological tug of war. They want great games. They want passion driven projects. They want developers who focus on gameplay, world building, creativity, and fun. They want to feel excited again, not cautious or skeptical about what a game is trying to say to them. In many ways, the statement from the former Tripwire CEO is less about criticism and more about a reminder of why people fell in love with gaming in the first place, a reminder that the heart of this medium has always been about joy, curiosity, and escape, a reminder that entertainment doesn't need an agenda to be meaningful. Sometimes being fun is already meaningful enough. If you made it this far and you enjoyed the discussion, do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up because it really helps push it out to more people who care about gaming. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I've got a lot more content that dives into gaming history, modern trends, and the conversations that actually matter to players. And if you want to support the channel even more, check out my Patreon. The latest Patreon exclusive is all about games that were one-hit wonders that never got a sequel, even though they absolutely deserved one. It's a deep dive into forgotten classics, missed opportunities, and titles that left a lasting impression despite never getting a follow-up. If you love gaming history and hidden gems, you're going to love that one. At the end of the day, gaming should be about excitement, immersion, and fun. It should be the place we go to escape, to explore, and to enjoy ourselves without being pulled into real world battles we were trying to step away from. That's not asking for too much. That's asking for gaming to be what it's always been at its best. Until next time, game